going? A very special Sunday Nerdrotic nooner because it's my birthday. And I want to spend my birthday with you complaining about Star Wars, Doctor Who, Star Trek, and everything else. What's up? Kind of a quiet day. Not much going on except if you're on Twitter, but I'm not anymore. I got off for the rest of the day. I did my obligatory hour on Twitter and then I left. I had enough. So how is everybody doing? Let's get to the chat here. And I'm not loving StreamYard. It's cool. Nothing personal. Just not loving it. And it has everything to do with my connection. So when I eventually get my new computer hooked up, I will be using something new with like fun graphics and cool stuff. So thank you for all the birthday wishes. Yes, I am 50 today. I made it. I made it to 50. It's all downhill from here. I got less life ahead of me than I got behind me or something like that. The birthday wish I usually put out to my friends is from Pink Floyd, from Time. Shorter of breath and one day closer to death. Happy birthday. What's up? We got Nina Fabiano, The Real Easy, Dual Elite, Carl, Mr. Scotty 301, JB 14 Bis, Gil Yesh, Lights, Shadow, Commodore. Oh my God. Commodore Lost, Jayhawk. Okay. Trinoculus and Midnight's Edge After Dark. What's up, Tom? How's it going? Father Christopher Miller, Gray Troll, Shelmo, Noop Toop, Blasted Heath. I'm seeing a lot of new people here. That's great. That's great. We have a lot of new subscribers on the channel, and I don't know why I'm clapping. I just do it. And it's something I've done all my life. So I guess Comics Division says the Twitter thing, but I don't know these things. I don't know. I don't live on Twitter. So I guess what we can talk about. Warren JB says, Nerdrotic, I started reading The Boys, got to issue 23 and said, I know that guy, then had to stop because it's effing bleak. It's a bleak story. Listen, it's a parody of superheroes by somebody, written by a person who hates superheroes. Garth Ennis hates superheroes. He's never been secretive of that. I prefer like The Tick, which is a parody of superheroes, but it's out of love. I certainly love the book, The Boys. My friend Derek co-created it and was kind enough to draw me into the book a couple of times. I'm on the bridge prior to 9/11, and I'm also helping Vought deliver some flamethrowers. And and then he had me stabbed in the mouth and happy too. Excuse me. Time for some Pete's. One moment. Sip of Pete's for the working lady. Okay, because we love strong, powerful women, actual strong, powerful women. The ones who don't brag about it, the ones who actually just go to work and do their thing and raise kids or don't raise kids. That's fine. You don't have to be a mom to be a strong, powerful woman. The Tick is a riot. Yes, it is. The Tick is brilliant. So, I wanted to talk about a few things today. We're certainly going to talk about fandom and why I love fandom, why fandom doesn't need to change. Kind of like Bridget Jones's Diary. Anybody watch Bridget Jones's Diary? Just as you are. We love fandom just how they are. We like them. I like them salty, snarky, full of memes. That's what it's always been. That's what it'll always be. If some people can't handle it, then maybe fandom is not for them. And then now fandom is, there's different levels. There's a place for kids. There's a place for adults. It's a place to play. Okay. And that's what I'll speak for myself. I'll use I statements here. So, I've been thinking a little bit about the channel and it's just my opinions, unsolicited opinions on things. And the reason I'm taking on, it's not like my mission. I don't wake up every morning going, I'm going to get Disney today. I usually react to something they've done. I don't make things up. It's not my fault. Disney Star Wars sucks. It's not Tom's fault at Midnight's Edge. It's not Jeremy's fault. It's not Jeff's fault. It sucks. And we became a place where people can vent their frustration with what is clearly going on with our franchises. And it's a deliberate effort to make them something they aren't, to try to achieve some goals for a very few while making some money. And what a lot of us are trying to do, what I'm trying to do, is keep this franchise relevant. So if Star Wars wants to remain relevant, they need to get rid of the partisan politics and start making Star Wars that's for everybody. You know, like how George did it. You can certainly weave in some political underlining story or some allegory. It was certainly there in the prequels, but it wasn't offensive, and it wasn't meant to exclude anybody. And they clearly want to exclude fans. Now, I remember hearing, I can't remember if it was Tom or Andre at Midnight's Edge, talking about an Alex Kurtzman interview, which I'm still looking for, where he basically says there's only a certain fan he wants to make Star Trek for. I remember hearing about this. I can't remember where it was. I got to find it. So I don't know exactly if it exists, but I remember hearing about that. But it wouldn't surprise me. And it's the same thing they're doing with Doctor Who when they called it creating conversations, and it's basically pushing their brand of politics. And I put it into a Doctor Who PC video from about a year ago, where it was just a clip from Stephen Fry, basically, pining that the politically correct are more obsessed with being right than actually pushing any kind of agenda. It's about being personally right. And it's an individual personal insecurity that they can't listen to another side of an argument. They need to shut people down. This is why people like that do well on Twitter. That's why the blue check marks do well on Twitter, because they're very good at sniping, coming in with a very short argument and leaving, and not elaborating on anything, or not having a healthy, and they're always the ones that come in and go, "Oh man, gone are the days where we could have a healthy discussion. Racist," and then block. It's like, come on. That's the one thing I wanted to talk about today is we'll reset again, monetizing our hatred of Disney. That's something that gets thrown out quite a bit. I thought it was rich that it came from a cosplayer. Okay. If cosplayers were illegal, well, a lot of cosplayers do make money, by the way. They get hired. I don't know about this particular cosplayer, and I'm not going to bring them up, but I'll just say you're using somebody else's licensed property to gain attention. And, I don't just talk about Disney. Disney pops up quite a bit, but I talk about a lot of other things. If I'm monetizing anything, it's my unsolicited opinion. If people like it, great. If they don't, great. I have no control over that whatsoever. But if somebody has a problem with that, they can always choose not to listen. But coming from cosplayers, again, who gain attention from somebody else's licensed property that they have no right to whatsoever. And I see a lot of people at Comic-Cons and stuff making a lot of money. And it's like Tim Doyle is a person who made a lot of money doing prints of somebody else's work. And that's illegal. That's illegal. But, the franchises, to their credit, largely turn a blind eye to that. If it's, George was very good about that. George would let people do their thing. And Star Trek was very good about it at one time too, kind of letting people do their, who's good about it now? Seth MacFarlane. But are we surprised? Because he's probably one of the most friendly people to fans. And that's why people love him, because he's great to fandom. So they turn a blind eye to this stuff, but you're still making unlicensed prints and ripping people off. Now, it's great that you do it. It's good to hone your skill and hone your art, but it'd probably be better if you did your own thing, but maybe you can't. So I don't know. Maybe that's where the jealousy comes in, because, I was listening to Eric July, our good friend, Young Ripa, just did a great video on kind of his take on how to become a content creator. It's a very good video. And I was listening to it before I started this. That's why it's kind of on my mind right now. And he was talking about discipline and doing your own thing and finding your voice. And that's the kind of the commonality we hear about this. So when people come after us about, monetizing, listen, when I started Nerdrotic, It was with a couple of friends, with John and Dennis, who are no longer with me. Not the organization. It's always been my thing. So I started this podcast after I sold the shop. I needed something to do, something to get my, to express my nerdness somewhere, or it would have just exploded. And I started a podcast, and this was in 2014. I was basically talking to Dennis and Mrs. Nerdrotic and my mom and a couple of people who knew me from the shop for 4.5 to almost 5 years with nobody watching, nobody listening, but I stayed disciplined on this. So we started out doing 2 podcasts a month. It went to 4 a month. And then, and before we had any kind of success, we started doing stuff weekly. We started covering TV shows. I wanted to cover Game of Thrones, Doctor Who. I wanted to originally be a Game of Thrones only channel, but Dennis didn't like Game of Thrones. So we started doing podcasts, just telling you the news with like basically no take. It was like really boring shit. So we're just like, hey, yeah, Glenn, I remember our second podcast, like Glenn Larson died. I was really bummed about that. And we did that for years. I did this for years, honing my craft or whatever, but it was just because it was fun. It was a hobby. It was a fun hobby that took off. It took off, and that's great. I never planned it to take off. It was always meant to be part of another comic shop. So it was going to be kind of like, I would go run the comic shop, and then at night I would do a broadcast, and we talk about comic books and all the pop culture news or whatever. And it took off so much to where I thankfully had to put off the comic shop, because considering where comics are, I don't want to sell anything new. And it was thanks to largely to Doctor Who, with The Expanse, Doctor Who, Game of Thrones, recently Star Wars, Star Trek. And if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, I'm done with Star Wars. Like, if you go, there's a review where I'm beardless, and this is before I was still kind of on the fence with stuff, and I'm with John, my co-host at the time, and he liked Last Jedi. I did not. I think I called it an abomination at the time, and this was the day after it came out. I had a raging headache. I was pissed, and I didn't even know how to. I couldn't find words at the time, like how pissed I was about that movie. But then I was done. I was just completely done. I was like, that's it, because I was old enough to be kind of done with the prequels, but they lured me back in. And I wasn't crazy about The Force Awakens, but I always thought that they could, do work with that. I thought that was something you can at least work with. Boy, was I wrong. I even there's podcasts where I'm like, oh, the Last Jedi trailer looks pretty good. I thought the trailer looked good. I was kind of like hopeful for the film. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong on that one. So it's something that evolved. It's not something that was planned. And, when something like that happens, I've failed at so many things, and I've succeeded on a few things too. You just know when something like that is happening right in front of you, you've got to take it. You have one chance, you go. So I quit my job at Tesla, and this was early on. This is before it even totally blew up, but I kind of felt like I had something, and so far it's worked. Is it going to last forever? I don't know. I take life one day at a time. So, but that's where we are with that. The Fandom Menace, to me, is a great group of people who are united in the principle of respecting the fan and trying to make Star Wars for everybody. And don't let other people's arguments define. And it's up to the individual. And the Fandom Menace remains a very loose group of individuals. That's the way I think it should stay, in my opinion. But that's just me. I'm just a member. I think it's a leaderless organization, but I think we probably take, I think Jeremy's probably at the top of the hierarchy. I would say that would be the way I would see it. But Jeff and EVS are certainly there too. But I am just a lowly member who thinks it should just stay loosely connected, so we can weather stuff that's going to happen. We'll just say like that, because stuff's going to happen. People are going to come after us and at us on Twitter, and I largely ignore it, and I'm fine with that. But when we keep it that way, they can't lump us in, but there's going to be people trying to define this group now, especially some very bad actors who block me on Twitter, which is great. I've never had interaction with this person, by the way. And they don't get to define us. They can say what they want. They're free to say it. And we should, protect their right to criticize us as much as they want. But they don't get to define us. Thanks. Thanks over easy mode. I'll try not to be the spleen of the fandom menace. Let's get to some super chats, and then I want to get to the chat. We're going to go back and forth here. And there is an Inquisition tonight, by the way. That's not changing. Nothing cancels the Inquisition. Well, I can't say that. We might get sick someday or something, but you never know. Not today, though. Today. So here we go. Bird of Prey 5. Kapla. Blind away. Bird of Prey 5 gave me this hat, by the way. Thank you very much, Bird of Prey 5, for the hat. I like it. It says Kapla on the back. I was wearing it today, my friend. So thank you very much. Happy birthday, Gary. Wish it could be more. That is more than enough. Thank you very much for the $2, my friend. $2. I really, Bird of Prey 5. I want to just shout out Bird of Prey 5. He's got a channel. Bird of Prey has had some serious health problems, and he's bedridden, and he still live streams. He's still got a great sense of humor. So definitely go check out his channel. Great guy, great Star Trek fan, great Star Trek knowledge. He definitely knows more than Annie Trekker. I mean, Annie Trekker's it just kills Annie Trekker on Star Trek knowledge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. We love Annie Trekker. Disabled Llama for Australian $5. Hail to the early birds. All you fine people in the chat, hit the like button, show some love. Also, good morning from the upside down. Good day, Disabled Llama. Is that you say Llama? Yeah. What was I watching? I was watching Ancient Aliens, and they were talking about dream states, and they were the Aboriginals are able to get into like a dream state that you don't need to take any drugs with. Like they're the only ones who kind of figured it out, and that's pretty cool. You don't need to take the DMT or whatever the hell Joe Rogan talks about all the time. Oh, and by the way, Annie Trekker's here. Wow, long time no see, my friend. Annie Trekker had some of the best reaction videos. I mean, they were like 8 hours long, but he had some of the best reaction videos for Star Trek Discovery Season 2. If you want to see a real Star Trek fan reacting to it live, to Star Trek Discovery Season 2, watch Annie Trekker. It was I actually included some of his reactions with his permission in my videos because they were, they kind of had me in stitches, man. They were so funny. It made Star Trek Discovery worth watching, was watching Annie Trekker. My favorite reaction is he blew a gasket and almost had a double aneurysm. I don't even know how you have a double aneurysm, but he almost had one. He almost had an aneurysm when Pike saw Admiral Cornhole sacrifice her life because they put a deadlock on the outside of the blast door. You couldn't open it from the inside. So she sacrificed herself, and Pike watched her blow herself up with an antimatter missile. And he was on the other side of a window. So the antimatter missile blew out like a quarter of the dish of the Enterprise, but it didn't blow out the window that Pike was behind. And he just squinted a little bit, and that was it. It was literally the dumbest scene in the history of Star Trek. And that's saying something because Star Trek Discovery kind of outdid itself every week. Chris Persia for Canadian $5. Happy birthday, Gary. Take these fake Canadian pesos. I'm not even going to call them dollars, Chris Persia, and grab a cup of Pete's when you can. Oh, well, I did. That's why this is late. I actually needed to get Pete's before I started my stream. I've got a routine. I got to stick with it. It's a little OCD. A $5 retracted message. I wonder, sometimes they get timed out. I'm sorry. Put that in the chat if you would like. Maybe YouTube got rid of it. Sometimes they do if it's salty. That's weird. Jeff McKelvey What's up, 3D Trekker? Gary, I'm right behind you for my 50th on March 30th. Happy birthday, man. Well, you're right behind. Like we can get into our 50s, and I don't know what's good about that yet, but somebody put it the other night. I'm starting my 6th decade, which is worse. That was actually a lot worse. My back hurt when I just said that right now. But I don't know if you can see because the camera's kind of, this connection sucks. But hang on, oh, you can't see it. I'm putting your ships up. The office is almost done. I spent a ton of time on this. Nina Fabiano for $5. Please give a shout out to Monster Huntress Rune's sister on her big 4th birthday. Happy 4th birthday is today. Her 4th birthday. Well, happy 4th. On August 18th is Robert Redford's birthday, and it's Christian Slater and I were born on the same day in the same year. One of us is a little more successful than the other. He's in one of my all-time favorite movies too. True Romance. Ryan Bush for £2. Happy Jaloja, Gary. Well, thank you. I had a very happy Jaloja before I started this live stream. Tharies, £5. Happy birthday, dude. You turned 50 the same day I reached one. Hey, you read 1,000 subs. Congratulations, Tharies. Can't wait to have you on the channel. I can't wait to be on it. I'm glad you made it to 1,000. Well, you will get a lot more come early 2020 when we get series 12, and it will be exactly like series 11 of Doctor Who. The same result. Insanity, the same result. Sean Casey for £5. Star Trekking across the universe. Oh, the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk. Happy birthday from Dudley, England. Greetings, Sean, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. What's up, UK? Yeah, I'm on a time where you guys can actually watch. Mutated Genome for $5. You suck at aging. Could you at least try to look older? Live long and prosper. Live long and prosper. I feel older. Does that make up for it? I feel older. Thank you very much. Malakot 63 for $5. Happy birthday, Gary. Thank you for bestowing your wisdom. I don't know about that. And making us all laugh. Have an awesome day. I will. And you too. You too. Now, sip a Pete for the working man this time. And let's get back to the chat here. As I have this, Blasted Heath says, I have the same birthday as Clarence Worley. I do. That's cool. True Romance is excellent. Kiss. Broken Arrow. We can't forget Broken Arrow. Don't fire at the nuclear weapons. My friend Doug does a much better John Travolta imitation for that. Leos do rule. Yowza Comics, they do. Except when we don't. Unfortunately, it's us Leos. We're the only ones who think we rule. Everybody else finds us kind of annoying. I would like to see you composite a better screenplay for future ideas into Star Wars or Star Trek or anything else. I think you could know what's wrong. By the way, I know PCs. Anthony, I might hit you up then. Excuse me. $50. I didn't even see that. Whoa. Anthony Lasago, thank you very much for the $50 donation. Wow. I'm a terrible writer. I'm not really good at I don't know. But I know, Anti-Trekker could make a better Star Trek story than anybody working on Star Trek right now. Bird of Prey 5 could. Doomcock could, for sure. Without a doubt. Thank you very much, Anthony. I greatly appreciate it. That is very cool, very generous. Wow. Christine Rush Lego for $2. Feliz cumpleaños. Oh, feliz cumpleaños. I've got to hope you are having a wonderful day. Well, thank you, Christine. I appreciate it. For $2 and a little heart. Lars Leonard for 50 Danish crowns. Happy birthday, mate, and happy birthday to you. I hope you're not getting irradiated right now, and I'm being serious about that because of that Russian rocket. Now, I don't know how close you are. I think it was Finland that was having problems. But I saw the video of that rocket blowing up. Wow. That was a good idea. Let's put a nuclear engine in the sky and a thing that's like basically a controlled explosion. What could go wrong? Enclave Soldier for $4.99. Gary, with all the wokeness in articles, how do you not descend into anger? Was it the drugs? Anger leads to the dark side. So I get irritated. I don't know. I got angry when I couldn't get my coffee today earlier and the traffic was bad. So if you want to catch me angry, it's in the car. It's in the car. I'm pretty irrationally angry for that. But it's because it's just another day that ends in Y when we get a woke article. It's in absolutely everything. I went to last night was date night with Mrs. Nerdrotic, and I went and saw a movie I usually don't see, but I love Mrs. Nerdrotic, and she's been to a lot of movies, a lot of superhero movies. Now, the thing is, she says, well, I've gone to a lot of she likes them, though. See, that's the deal. She likes that stuff as much as I do. But occasionally, we got to go see an adult movie. So we saw Where Did You Go, Bernadette last night with Cate Blanchett. Now, I like Cate Blanchett. She's one of my favorite actors. Galadriel, come on. But the movie was just more, it kind of made fun of elitist, it really made fun of elitist rich people in Seattle, but it was just more of the same from Hollywood. And the thing is, it's funny, as they change the end, I guess, of the book. Sorry, spoilers. They don't make the bad dad as bad as he was in the books, and I guess that's upsetting people that he wasn't. They actually tried to make him a little better in the film than he was in the books. Now, it didn't work in the film, but yeah, it just this is why I watch movies about spaceships, wizards, or drug deals gone bad. That's pretty much what I want. If I want drama, I'll just remember something from my life. Who wants to go see a movie about a couple that gets divorced? And you know what that is? It's Hollywood playing real, because they don't know what, they've lost touch with all reality because they pretend for a living. So they make movies for themselves to pretend they're real. And then they pat themselves on the back when they're, oh my God, he was so genuine. How many times have you heard that? It's like, who goes, I go to work. When I was working at Tesla, I walk up and I go, what's up, Ivan? You're so genuine today. Fucking nobody says that. Obi-Wan 27883. What is up, Obi-Wan? How's it going? Fandom Menace member you for $10. We solicit your opinions by showing up to watch your content. You and the rest of the Fandom Menace never insults us if there are disagreements, unlike the Hollywood/Access media bubble. Correct. That is the deal. So, Fandom Menace, do I agree with everything everybody says? No. Do they agree with everything I say? No. But we are united behind the principle of respecting the fan. So that's enough. That's enough for me to like them. That's enough for me to be a proud member, to back them. And there will be bad actors who will do the usual bullshit, try to define us as a hate group and stuff like that. All I have to say to that, this is just me musing personally. This is what I would do in this situation. I would promptly ignore it and ghost it and not respond. There are so many times I go to Twitter and I have a response typed and I go, nah, and I erase it and I just don't say anything. And it ends up being the right decision every single time, because I'm not wasting any time. And listen, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody on Twitter. I'm not. I would totally dive down in there and get into the mud and, talk some shit. That's fun. But I just don't have time. I'm not very good at it. And I'm really shitty at Twitter, extremely shitty at Twitter. So I'll get added at stuff and I can't see the source tweet. I don't know where to find it and I lose patience. So I go, fuck it. I don't care. But it's really important to remember that's I know the battle is being held over there, but for me on YouTube, this is my platform. So this is where I will elaborate. This is where I will talk about things. And if they want to bring it over here, okay, but I'm not going to play in their playground, which is Twitter is clearly their playground. Now there are some good people doing some good work on Twitter that I couldn't match, like, Ichibaka, Data Racer, those guys are doing like really good work over there. And I support them completely. But yeah, it's just not anything I would engage in. And I don't think it would help. Listen, we got to defend ourselves. Got to do it sometimes. But a lot of times I just like let it go. I mean, I had a couple videos made about me in the last week. And sure, I wanted to respond, especially when one channel is like much bigger than I am. And I let it go. I let it go. Because why? I just give that person attention, and it doesn't do me any good. It doesn't do the fan. It doesn't do anything any good. It just turns into like a personal argument and some drama. And I really want to save it for Disney and CBS and Alex Kurtzman, and everything else is, it's a distraction for me. It's a distraction for me. But I certainly will back up anybody who, like, if somebody goes after anybody in the Fandom Menace, if they need some backup, I'll be there. I'll be there. Thank you, Obi-Wan. Norwegian Kryptonian for 109 Norwegian crowns. Thank you. Gary, happy birthday from Norway. Please check out the video I tweeted you. They edited out Captain Marvel and added Superman for the final battle in Endgame. It's brilliant. Oh, I can imagine that would be brilliant, because they basically tried to make her Superman. Thank you, Norwegian. And that's why she didn't work in the story. So they OP'd Captain Marvel, and then they sidelined her in the movie for reasons. And she doesn't belong in the Marvel universe. A character like that doesn't belong in the Marvel universe. The Marvel universe is not like that. All right. It's not filled with gods. It's got powerful characters, but it's just not like that. That's what makes it different than DC. So, that conversation has come up forever. What's Marvel's Superman? Marvel should never have a Superman ever. But they have it now. They have it now. And well, good luck writing that. And then you have, I love that there's so many people going, you can't write Superman anymore. It's just too difficult to write. But you can write Captain Marvel. Okay. I'd love to hear the logic to that someday. No, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't. I don't. Orville Nation for $5. You are in good company, Gary. Tomorrow is both Gene Roddenberry and Orville Wright's birthday. Hey, that's cool. Many, many more birthdays for you, my friend PJ. Thank you, PJ. I greatly appreciate it. Awesome. I didn't know Gene Roddenberry's birthday is tomorrow. Well, that's great. Madonna's birthday was Friday, I think. And I know, it was also the anniversary of Elvis's death. R.I.P. Elvis, but we know you're really still alive. Illuminati for $50.50. Wow. Happy 50th birthday to my fellow white bearded male Northern California. Here's to 50 more glorious years. Thank you. What's up, NorCal? Thank you for the 50-50. That's brilliant. Yes. White comma bearded, but I'm also getting white bearded. It's happening. I'm going to look like Santa Claus here pretty soon. Speaking of Santa Claus, I was talking to Mrs. Nerdrotic, and I guess Mrs. Nerdrotic gave the boot to somebody in my Facebook group for calling me portly. And her logic, which was sound, was clearly they aren't watching my videos. Now, unless they watch my older videos, I was pretty portly in those. But no, I worked very hard not to be portly anymore. At 50, I didn't want to be portly at 50. But I definitely had the comic shop owner bod for a little while there. It's kind of like a dad bod, but times 10. And then I went to my sponsor, who is also a men's health physician, and we did a physical. And he said, "Yeah, you're obese," and I've never been labeled that before in my life. I'm like, what? And I was like in denial or something like that. And he's like, "Yeah, you could lose a couple pounds." I'm like, "Okay, how do I lose all the weight I can right now?" And he's all, "What?" I'm like, "I need to lose everything now." I couldn't stand it anymore. So he put me on this diet where I did a cleanse, and then I didn't eat anything but lettuce and almonds for like a week, and a shake and it tasted terrible. It was like this pasty shake twice a day. And I only had that for a couple days, and I dropped 50 pounds in like under 2 months. So it's possible. It hurts a little. Actually, you get used to it. The first couple days kind of suck, but once it's past like that, you lose the hunger. You get more thirsty than anything, but it worked. It worked. Mike Zero. Hang on just a second. Psycho Dwarf 9 for $2. Happy birthday. Keep rocking, mate. Thank you very much. I will. And listen, I know this sounds cheesy, but I can't do without you. I really can't. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I like doing videos. That's what helps the algorithm. That's what's helped the channel grow. But if I could just live stream, I would do that. Believe me, that would be, I would be fine live streaming once a day, which I'll probably do anyway. But I still have to make the videos to please the algorithmic gods. And, you know, it's good to kind of have a concise point, which I'm usually not on my live streams. It's more of a live stream of consciousness. Yeah, I'm aware. That's why I kind of wish my dad was still around. May he rest in peace. Papa Nerdrotic passed away about 18 years ago from cancer. Fuck cancer. And always said I had diarrhea of the mouth, and the kindest way. I mean, my dad had a way with words. Don't be stupid. You're fucking stupid. But I mean, like, I love my dad. He was awesome. He was just old school, right? He just cut to the point. When you're being an idiot, he called you an idiot, and that's it. That's all right. And but I think he'd get a good chuckle out of what I'm doing right now. I think that would make him laugh. Saruin of House Roundhead for $4.99. Happy birthday. I hope Mike Zero wished you a happy birthday too. He may have said happy birthday to you a while back since he was from the future. Oh, he did. He said happy birthday to me when I turned 60. Saruin of House Roundhead. Mike Zero fascinates me, and I know Jeremy went through a fascination phase with him, and it just fascinates me. Like, I think he is Eric July talked about this in his last video. You don't get that many subs without being really disciplined. Like, you got to have kind of an insane work ethic to create content on YouTube. And that's why I was telling the story before, when I would do shows and podcasts knowing nobody was going to watch, and it did not deter me at all because I loved it. It was fun. I loved doing it. So it didn't really matter to me that people weren't listening. And then when people started listening, that was cool. And I think that's kind of what you have to do when you start out. I mean, I don't want to be Mr. Advice on anything, because there's a lot of factors that go into creating content here and getting it to work. But the one common factor that Eric July is absolutely right about is discipline. You got to put out content all the time. You don't take days off. This is exactly like running a business. And when you decide to go into business for yourself, vacations and days off are gone. Even when you go on vacations, you're still working, like, all the time. So that's the commonality with that. So Mike Zero is consistent, very consistent person. Tech Guy for $2. Happy birthday. You're like a nerdy best friend. Oh, thanks. Yes, at least I'm not a dirty best friend. That's for sure. Shia Storm Dragon for $10. Happy birthday. I just hope you don't try to remake Indiana Jones as a woman, as Jones. They will. They even floated that one out. Was it last year? I remember doing a live stream on it. Was it 2 years ago? They will. They're going to die. Guarantee you, Die Hard. I've already made the suggestion. Get Brie Larson and call it Brie Hard. My face is tired for $10. Happy birthday, my dude. Much love. Wow, back at you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it for $10. Scottish Nerd. Mrs. Nerdrotic and I were just talking about going to Scotland. For £5. Hail, Gary. Happy 50th of your first naked and crying day. Have some cake and coffee. Well, I'll have some more coffee. Thank you for the £5, my friend. That's good. So good when it hits your lips. Anthony Lazago. Anthony. $100 super chat. Anthony, That is a lot of money. Thank you very much. Wow. Happy birthday, of course, but I'd love to use your brain for a plethora of awesome future idea blobs for super destroy the crap stuff that's out there. So get at me. I will. Well, what the Fandom Menace is doing is working. It's clearly working. So we need to not stop. There is an element out there that okay, so there's an element out there that doesn't want confrontation and just wants everything to be fun in fandom again. That's what we want too. That's exactly what we want. That's exactly what I want. But sticking our head in the sand right now is not going to make things better. There is an element out there that would very much like for us to shut up and move on so they can continue doing what they're doing in peace. So they can continue destroying our franchises, making them for partisan politics, making them for one party, basically, and even a fringe part of that one party. I'll just say that, a fringe part. And they would love for there to be no resistance to that whatsoever. I'll use a word that they love, resistance. And they are using, I mean, that's the thing is the last year, they have made no secret of it. They're using these as political platforms. I could find you article after article where producers and actresses and actors and writers of the Access Media are saying as much. Andy Signor, go watch the interview with Jeremy on Geeks and Gamers. It's enlightening. It's very enlightening. And that guy got hosed. So that's clearly happening. So we have to say something. If you don't say something, nothing gets done. We don't want to be that person at work that expects to get a promotion without asking for it. Do we? No. You're never going to get a promotion. You're never going to get a raise, and you're never going to get any kind of anything unless you ask for it, unless you go get it. What does Robert Meyer Burnett say? You're only as good as what you would negotiate. He's absolutely right. If you want to, what did Jeremy say? Something he was talking about Anna and Jesse. It was in a live stream or a video yesterday, and he was talking about those two being proactive by reaching out to him to work with him. That's important. It's important, to. It sounds like a simple thing, but sometimes you have to state the obvious here on YouTube, and a lot of people don't like confrontation. Or think their work will be noticed all the time. No, just assume your work is never noticed because it probably isn't, and ask. And it never hurts to ask. The big 50, congrats. I hope the next 50 is better. I hit 39 on Monday, so this good part of the year. Quote from the Army: every day above ground is a good one. Damn straight, Pete. Thank you for the $10. It is. Every day's good here. I'm having fun. This is a very fun thing to do. So there's that. And you want to continue having fun. And the people see the insinuation of we're monetizing blah, blah, blah is like, I'm making shit up. I'm actually not really this mad. Like I'm secretly a fan of this stuff. No, no. And I started with nobody listening, and I was saying the same stuff. It just took a while for it to get out there, but yeah, clearly not. Happy birthday! You're a leader in the Fandom Menace, says Warren Roar for $4.99. I don't know about that. Thank you for what you do. I felt exactly the same way as you do about Star Wars, especially after The Last Jedi. Yeah, I was done. It's like they clearly don't want me as a fan. They don't want a lot of you as a fan. As Steve put it, the writer of the Fandom Menace, it was a collective middle finger to the fandom. It certainly was. Thank you, Warren. I appreciate that. The Grand Inquisitor for $2. Hail, Gary! Happy birthday, you old son of a gun. I am old. I am old. That is for sure. Thank you, my friend, for $2. Unhinged Crank for $2. Happy birthday. Thank you. Let's get to the chat here. Let's see what's going on. Hang on. I got a message. One moment. I'm supposed to have my phone off, but I did invite somebody on if they have time. Hey, hang on just a second. I've promised to send somebody the link. I don't know if they can come on, but I promised to send somebody the link, so I'm going to do that right now. Because I always get accused of not paying attention in the chat, which is, I mean, I'm paying attention, but I don't see everything. Oh, where'd it go? Just a second here. Sorry for the silence here, folks. Usually it's not silence on my thing. There we go. And that is sent. And I got to make sure to have my headphones handy just in case. Okay. Back to the chat. Transparent transparent adamantium door. Oh, and that's old. Hang on. Let's go. Not that it was bad. That was just old. Just found out that this chat, that Peter Fonda died. Yes, Peter Fonda died. Didn't read anything until today. Wow, that's big. It is big, Avenger 2. And yes, he did pass away yesterday. He was 80. He was 80. Everybody's, well, older than Gary. Yeah, very few people now. I think there's more people younger than me than older than me. 50 is clearly the new 35. Well, thank you. That is too kind. Chris Persia, thank you for being here with the rant. Mark Lazur, thank you very much. Mary Ashby, DJ D Show. Yeah, Mark and Chris are just always. And Matthew Matson, thank you for being here. I appreciate the wrenches. So it's good to see y'all. There we go. And I just got to keep an eye on things here. Which is good. Yes, Peter Fonda died. Yes, I don't know what. He probably just old age. Are you familiar with The Rocketeer? If so, what do you think of the comics and of the movie? And okay, so hang on. I can do this. I forgot. Are you? It's my birthday today as well. I'm 21. Happy birthday, Gary. P.S. I started The Expanse because of you, and it's awesome. Well, thank you. I love to hear that. So yes, I just lost that. Okay, here we go. This is the one. Are you familiar with The Rocketeer? If so, what do you think of the comics and or movie? And did you hear that Disney is allegedly planning to reboot it? Yes. And they were planning to reboot it before with a black female lead, which, I mean, like, this is my surprise face. That's me being surprised about that. And they shit-canned it, so they'll probably try to bring it back. Rocketeer is one of my favorite all-time comics. It is from the old Pacific Comics days, and it's one of the most beautifully drawn comics ever. And I love the movie. So I just want it left alone. And, you know, Rocketeer is it's like a nerd's nerd. It's like jazz. You know, jazz is music for musicians. Rocketeer is like jazz for nerds. It's for pure nerds. Like, you have to be a special kind of nerd to really love The Rocketeer. And most of you probably do. Because of its old-timey goodness, you know. Yeah, I don't want Disney touching anything right now. They are not good ambassadors. They're not good custodians. Listen, they should not be in charge of Armada Miss anymore. They have lost that privilege. Now they own it. There's nothing we can do about it. And that's that. I got to get that off there. Hang on. Where'd it go? Jennifer. Oh, yes. Jennifer Connelly. Yes. Enough said. Dave Stevens was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant, and got to meet him a long time ago at a Comic-Con. He passed away very young, unfortunately, but it's such a masterful book. If you can get your hands on it. Now, I love the old Pacific comics, and you can get his first appearance pretty cheap still. And it's something worth having, I think. I see Dark City in there. I love Dark City. Absolutely adored that movie. Here we go. All right. I got to move my monitor here. There we go. With all the craziness going on, and oh, God dang it. These just jumped on me again. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Okay. I just totally lost my place. Hang on a second. Rebecca Gold, Jeff McKelvey, the Talons Wayne. Okay, here we go. Enclave Soldier for $4.99. With all the craziness going on in these articles, how do you not descend into anger? Happy birthday. Did I read that one? I might have read that one already. I don't. And I said before, I descend into anger on in the car. I've read 3 this morning that were, I mean, I could have made videos on them, and I probably will. I've got to do a video. I promised a video for Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers. I'm working on one of those. And then I've got one I'm working on probably for tomorrow morning. But today is going to be live stream, birthday dinner, and then Inquisition. That's the plan. That's why I got to keep an eye on the time here. We're good for right now, though. The Talons of Wayne Chang for £10. Best wishes for your 50th, Gary. Gonna have to dip, I'm afraid, due to work in 7 hours, but we'll watch later. The Tarantino film was great. He seems to hate hippies, so you should enjoy it too. All the best. Oh, well, yes, then I will enjoy it. Yeah, that's good to hear. I'm glad you enjoyed it. A bunch of my friends said they loved it, and I do want to see it, but I'll probably wait to watch it at home. Jeff McKelvey, $5. Also, I do have another ship in the works for you and Doomcock in the Exozone theme. I hope you guys dig it. Oh, cool. Thank you. I will dig it. If it's from you, I will dig it. Rebecca Gold for £5. Long time no see. Happy birthday, Gary. Keep going. I'm 54 years old. Welcome to the 50s Club. Why, thank you. Yes, and it's good to be here. It's good to be here. I'm now in the same decade as age as our beloved Doctor Who, which has gone into the pooper. Keith Whalen for £2. All the very best from the UK. And he's got a Captain America avatar there. I like that. Greetings, UK. You know, I kind of miss our reviews, our Doctor Who reviews. You know, it's almost been, almost been a year since Jodie's first episode. And things aren't better. Things clearly aren't better. Things are, you know, what's happening in Star Wars is very interesting. What's going on right now, because they're feeling it. And you know, I said both of my videos, I feel like I gave the Phantom Menace enough credit there, because I think they have a lot to do with what's going on and bringing awareness to people. And when you see, like in real life, you know, Jeremy getting his hand shaken by people at Disneyland, and when Jeremy has people who I'll just say work in and around that organization who reach out to him, that's saying something. You've made headway there. And Jeremy did nothing more than state his opinion on the internet. So again, it's not Jeremy's fault. It's not my fault. It's not EBS's fault. It's not anybody's fault that Doctor Who sucks, Star Wars sucks, Star Trek sucks. Talk to Kurtzman, talk to Chibnall, talk to Kathleen Kennedy. Direct your anger there. But I think being partisan and right matters way more to people than the actual movie. And that's, you know, like there's different types of fans. There's fans who just like the toys of something and don't really like the movies. There's comic fans who don't read the comic books. You know, they buy the comic books, they collect them, but they don't read them. It's more than you think. It's pretty incredible, but there's different shades of fans, and that's cool. But it seems like one side has forgotten that, and it's not the side, well, they would think. They think they're the nice ones and the inclusive ones when they're not. Does it help if you look at it as you've circled the sun 50 times just today? Tracy Wilburn, maybe. Yes. Yeah. Circled the sun 50 times and survived. I mean, that's pretty good, right? Thank you for the $5. Paul Wilkinson for $4.99. Happy birthday, Gary. I also hit a half century this year. Now I need the beard and glasses. Well, you're better off without glasses. Glasses suck. But I think you wear it better. Have a great day. Thank you. I hate glasses. I wear them, but I wish I didn't have to. But I have to, or I will bump into things. Deef for Canadian $5. If Rian Johnson were sent back in time to fight the English Civil War, he would he would be with the Cavaliers or the Roundheads or the Roundheads. It would be the Roundheads. He would definitely be on the round. Let me make sure. Okay, just got to make sure people didn't join. There is an easier way to do this. There is an easier way to do this. Pull this window out. Oh, I can't wait till I get the new system set up. That'll be so much nicer. And then I could show you guys the office. I mean, I guess you can kind of see. Hang on. We'll stop sharing. I mean, the connection's really bad, but let's see. Some of the work I've done, not that way, that way. So all that. Now, this right here is a mess. So ignore that. That's not done yet. Actually, none of it's done, but I still have to put my ships up and fill that shelf. But yeah, all those Doctor Who figures, that's pretty much a Doctor Who wall right there. It looked better in a book. I just had a bookcase. I know some people like the bookcase, but bookcase is boring. You couldn't even see the books in there. But I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. You can see I've got to get my other TARDIS. I've got a 1/6 scale TARDIS right there, and my Cyberman mask, and there's a bunch of other stuff. I still got to put up my Lord of the Rings and Monty Python figures. All right, so we don't want to see me though. Let's go back to the screen. And we will share the chat. I'll probably keep this one up on the channel. Screw it. Boom. Get down there. There we go. Okay. And I will get back to this chat. Oh, I just lost it again. Damn it. That's terrible. Pete for $5. Spaceships, wizards, and drug deals gone bad. I co-sign everything about this sentence. Yes, thank you. That is my philosophy on watching a film or a TV show or anything, really. I'm not a fan of drama, of a very sad couple in a room sitting around a table talking about their feelings, and then usually in a foreign film, one of them dies or they both die at the end, and then it says fin. And yeah, I'm really not into, that's why I hated CW. I probably haven't said it here in a while, but CW superhero TV shows are men and women in tights in hallways talking about their feelings. That's all they're doing. They're not really talking about or doing anything superhero-y. And clearly we're going to get that from Batwoman, by the way. Batwoman's a vegan. That's good. Because we always want to see our superheroes eating food on television. What is the obsession with eating food? I know they started doing that in comic books too. That does not relate. But I guess that goes with Marvel's lifestyle brand. And they started doing cooking shit. I know this is a while ago on there. It's like, we know what you eat over there at Marvel. Okay. Unless you're going to be making Twinkies or whatever. Yeah. Don't. Please don't. The Grand Inquisitor for $5. Is it just me, or does gelogia sound like a skin condition? Are you tired of suffering from gelogia? Ask doctor if Mixoplex is right for you. Mixoplex. I'm sorry, Mixoplex. I could read it though. I saw what you did there. Side effects are cancer and a certain death. Yes, no, gelogia sounds like La Jolla to me. It's just La Jolla. Actually, it is. Is it La Jolla? Yeah, it's La Jolla just rearranged. La Jolla is a town. It's a part of San Diego. It's a very beautiful part of San Diego. And La Jolla Cove is also, and I know there's people on both sides of the argument here, but hear me out. Go on the internet and look for a picture of La Jolla Cove from 1930. Just there's older pictures of it, and then find a modern picture. And there's actually a meme, if you can find it. They're right next to each other because there's all these people who keep saying the sea level is rising. La Jolla Cove is still there. The fact that it's still there shows that the sea level's not unless the ground is raising up with it. I'm just saying. La Jolla Cove hasn't lost an inch of ground. So in years and decades. There might be a reason for that. I'm not really sure. Disabled Llama for Australian $2. Barbie Star Wars dolls. For sakes. That's exactly where our fandom is. That's kind of what that's a better example than the cutesy little picture I put in my last video. Disney bought, I mean, you guys know this, right? Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars to get boys back to their brand, because they were largely considered, as far as merchandising and stuff, as a girls brand, and their genre entertainment wasn't really working. Tron failed. John Carter, and as much as I liked Tron and John Carter, they failed, and that led to buying Marvel and Star Wars. Disney, I think, underpaid for Marvel and overpaid for Star Wars. I thought that then. I think that now. I think Marvel has always had more potential than Star Wars, and I think that's being proven out right now because Star Wars is still largely based on a very small group of characters, and Marvel is different. I think it's pretty obvious. But Star Wars dolls. I saw the Darth Vader doll, and it just, yeah. I wonder how those are going to sell, aside from the collectors. I'm curious to see how many people are going to buy the Darth Vader Barbie that doesn't look like Darth Vader. It looks like Joan Collins. Yeah. A Smiling Bandito for Canadian $5. Happy birthday. Hearing about your birthday reminded me of mine coming up this week. I'm 40, catching up. I remember when I turned 40. It seemed like the end, and then I made it to 50. So there. Rhino 4563 for $5. Cheers to the birth class of 1969. Mine is in 3 weeks. Happy birthday, Gary. Happy birthday. Yes, I was born and the Beatles were still together. That's a long time ago. Scarlett Johnson for $4.99. Happy birthday. You and Jordan Peterson are my favorite YouTube personalities. Have a great day. Whoa. That's Jordan Peterson's like internationally known, much reviled, much appreciated personality. I like Jordan Peterson, by the way. So that being lumped in that same class is an honor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Psycho Dwarf 9 for $2. I've got 40 chapters to transcribe. Why? That sounds like a lot of work. Chapters of what? Chapters of what? Can you like farm that out to somebody? That sounds like something that needs to be farmed out. I'll use Mrs. Nerdrotic. I'll use some of her words. Is that the best use of your talent, Psycho Dwarf 9? Art Fusco, what's up, Art? I got to meet Art down in San Diego for Comic-Con for $2. Happy birthday, Gary. Love your videos. Keep it up. Well, it's nice to meet you, Art. Woke Troll for $2 says, happy birthday, old man. Well, thank you. Thank you, young person. I don't want to assume your gender. Cracklin for $24.99. Happy B. Thank you for all the great content. Best time is now for $19.99. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. No, I appreciate it. I'm glad you think it's great content. Sometimes I'm not so sure. Tyrone, it jumped on me there. Hang on. Tyrone Beard for Australian $2. Happy 50th Gelogia, Gary. Have a great one, mate. I will. Thank you, Tyrone. Clobberin Times for $5. Sorry. Happy birthday, Gary, from the former comic shop owner to another. Yes, feeling young. I hit 55 last Sunday. I appreciate what you do. Keep up the great work. Yes. We former comic book retailing brothers need to stick together. because there's a lot more of us now. There's a lot more of us former comic shop retailers. John Smallberries for $100. Whoa. Happy birthday, Gary, from someone who has more than a decade on you. Oh, wow. Well, you're 60 years young, John. 60 years young. I'm going to say we're 60. Anthony Lasaga for $10. What would you do next on Star Trek? What would I do next on Star Trek? I would pull the plug on this one completely. I would eat the contract, pay Alex Kurtzman out. All of his successes. Well, one of his successes was canceled, by the way, to show that CBS is capable of canceling an Alex Kurtzman joint. They canceled Instinct today. But what I would do, back to basics. I would get it down to one show. I would find a Star Trek alum, and I would a successful one. So yes, I would back the Brinks truck up to Ronald D. Moore and have him write a Star Trek, and then give him some leeway. It's not like you don't want to, it's not like listen, you can modernize things without, especially he was very good at being political and not partisan. Congrats on 50 years. Smoke a kipper on me and I'll see you in the morning. Cracklin for $24.99. I smoke a kipper. I don't know what is that? I don't know, Cracklin. Thank you though. Star got that's a video, Anthony. I think that's a video. That's one I'll have to think about. I'm not, I'd love to be solution based on that one, but there are better people than me that could work that out. I just know what's good and what isn't to me. And Star Trek Discovery is unwatchable. It's not even bad; it's unwatchable, but I still watch it. But it's very difficult. There were many times where I'm like, I don't want to review this. I don't even care. This sucks so bad, but I did it anyway. Nicholas Horton for £2. Hail, Gary, the latest episode 9 plot leaks. Oh, yes. Okay. So the latest episode 9 plot leaks. Actually, we can go to Bounding into Comics for that. Shall we? Our good friends at Bounding into Comics. I was going to do a video on that. I still might. George R. R. Martin declares HBO Game of Thrones ending will not affect books. Well, duh. How can it affect it when you're never going to finish it? Not affected. There's the video. It's clearly not going to affect something you're not going to do. Jesus. All right. We're going to stop sharing that for a second, and we're going to get to Bounding into Comics. Can you see that? There we go. All right. So this is the latest plot leak. I don't know if I believe this is utterly ridiculous. So you can always believe it's a possibility. I mean, we're about going over possibilities here. So yeah. So there's another YouTuber who's much bigger than me who took a shot at me and Doomcock. And again, that's fine. I'm when somebody's doing that, that means you're relevant, and that's great. But he was punching down a little bit. Listen, I talk about rumors here. Yes, of course. Sometimes, not all the time, but I'm just, we're just discussing them. We're just speculating. That's what fans do. And I'm not sorry, and I won't stop, and I'll do it again. Alleged Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker's leaks reveal how Emperor Palpatine returns. A new set of alleged Star Wars Rise of God, the Rise of Skywalker is a dumb name. Leaks reveal how Emperor Palpatine returns. Not only does the new set of leaks detail how Palpatine returns, but how he will be defeated as well. It also goes into detail much about the plot of Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, I mean, like, if you guys care about being spoiled by, listen, it's a 4chan leak. So I mean, my honest I'd say it's 10% chance that this is correct. I would give it a 10% chance. I don't think this will be correct. Parts of it I do. I won't get into everything, but basically, Palpatine is it's a Horcrux. So they're ripping off Harry Potter. And I mean, not only there's a Force ghost of Han and Luke, just like Sirius and Harry's mom and James Potter and Lily Potter showing up as ghosts at the end to encourage him on. And at the end to take on Voldemort. Basically the same thing's going to happen to Kylo. Now, it's not going to end the exact same way, but the same thing's going to happen to Kylo. So that's your leak. It's a Horcrux. It's freaking ripping off Harry Potter, which, listen, whether you agree with this or not, it's really true. Harry Potter caught a whole generation of kids that Star Wars did not. And I think it's pretty freaking clear when you go to the Harry Potter land at Universal Park that is packed with people all the time. It's clearly a better experience than it was Galaxy's Edge. I had a good time when I went to the Harry Potter part of Universal, which was 2 or 3 years ago. And I only had a good time by hanging out with members of the Phantom Menace at Galaxy's Edge, which I found quite boring. So I won't get into all the leaks, but that's the one at the end. It's Palpatine is going to be in a Horcrux. His essence, his spirit will be trapped in a MacGuffin, and they'll have to get him out. And when he gets out, he gets Kylo, then gets encouraged by Force Ghost Han Solo and Luke. And if they Force Ghost Han Solo, I might scream. There might be like whatever little rage is left about Star Wars will come out. And like every time I hear, here comes Star Trek Discovery season 3. Here comes bad plot rumor from freaking Star Wars. We're going to do an A-Force movie. At this point, I'm like, do it. I freaking dare you. Do it. Come on, please do it. When I hear the writer from Black Widow attack fans, okay, keep doing it. Just keep doing it. I'm not going to try to stop them anymore. I'm not going to try to warn them against it. Nope. I'm going to simply react to your stupidity. And that's what it is. It's clear stupidity. You're so stuck in your own freaking beliefs that, or you're just so ignorant to fandom. And that's what a lot of this is. I don't want to give them excuses or outs, but that Marvel makes a habit now of hiring young independent filmmakers because they're cheap. Do you want to know why else they make diversity hires? Do you want to know why? The other real reason? They're cheap. And that doesn't get talked about enough. The reason they're not hiring, they're trying to move out. There's a big power play going on in Hollywood. And one of the things that's really clear now is movies are more producer driven than they have been in the past. And clearly that's why Marvel works, is because it's producer driven and it hasn't completely crashed and burned yet. So we still have to show some respect to Kevin Feige, not much considering the direction that it's going. But like when an Alex Kurtzman comes out and thinks he can be like a Kevin Feige, I mean, I just laugh. I mean, it's, as a matter of fact, I had a little trouble getting through the video I'm making for Jeremy because it's about that subject. And I keep laughing because I'm just like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever read. Star Trek being like Marvel. Are you fucking kidding me? It's just never. Alex Kurtzman doesn't have the talent of one of Kevin Feige's pubic hairs. Okay. It just doesn't. But I digress. They're taking this. So when they hire independent directors and they hire people of color with no experience, that means they're cheap. And I hate to break it down to something so jaded, but it's true. Hollywood doesn't do anything that's genuine. They don't do anything to make the world a better place. It is one of the worst places for that on the face of this earth. I have worked in the auto industry, And there was less racism and sexism in the auto industry I worked at in the 80s than I experienced in my 2 years at Technicolor in Hollywood. So and that's the most frustrating thing is like, especially for those of us who've worked in and around Hollywood for even a second, you know how full of shit these people are. That's what's laughable about this. And it's obvious to so many. That's why it's so encouraging to see so many people in the Fandom Menace, because you're seeing through this bullshit, this disingenuine bullshit. And so many of you just like what happened, I don't want to get into it, but what happened today on Twitter was just such disingenuous crap. And many of you saw through it. So I'm thankful when I see that. I'm like, whew, there's still smart people out there who understand nuance, and what's happening. What I'm glad about, what I'm very happy that Hollywood has decided to be so brazen and arrogant that they decided to be honest about a lot of this stuff. Because I think it's important that it's shown, because if for the longest time they were like, what? We're not being partisan. No, it's just a small group of people. No, just minimizing it and lying about it. And, now they're not. And they can't minimize this much longer. They can try. So that's why I said when Star Wars was crumbling, I didn't want it to crumble. I want Star Wars to be good, because there's a lot of really good Star Wars fans who are in and out of this culture war who don't deserve this. They've just been fans, and they just want to go and enjoy some goddamn Star Wars and be left alone. And that's what we are trying to preserve. I would love to stop. I would love to stop this, and fandom would be just fine. Now, I can't say what it used to be. It's always been like this, but what's really driven the wedge into fandom is Disney, and the fact that it's become so profitable, but maybe not for long. And the corporations have driven such a wedge into the fandom, it's because there's so many normies. There's so many people who are just here. I call them tourists. They're here for a second. They're going to bail out. It's the best it's kind of crass, but the best way to equate them is, and this is a term I heard from Mrs. Nerdrotic, is a lug. So it's somebody who's a lesbian until graduation. That's kind of what some of these fans are. They're just kind of coming in. They've dyed their hair blue, and they bought a pop, and they bought a t-shirt. But, when they hit 25, they're going to go get married and have some kids and forget about nerddom and stuff. And same with the dudes. There's just tourists. There's people who are in there. And then there's lifers, which I'm not saying this is the healthiest thing in the world. I'm not advocating it for everybody. Whatever works for you, fine. But then there's us lifers who are going to have action figures when we're 50. No shame to my game, by the way. You can make fun of me all you want. It doesn't bother me. Clearly not, because it's part of my background. So it's goddamn. It's to the point where it's making me laugh, but it's equally frustrating too. And again, I don't want to give too much mileage to what happened this morning, and really don't want to get into it, but because the people involved are taking care of it, by the way. They're doing just fine. They don't need my help. But it was some really disingenuous shit. It was low, but it's to be expected. It's kind of to be expected, especially from the parties involved. Plus, I can't comment on stuff I'm blocked on. I'm getting I'm blocked by half those people, and I can't see anything, so I can't comment on it. So I won't. Now there's some other subjects that I'm not talking about because I'm saving them for the Inquisition. We got the Inquisition in 2 hours. We're going to be covering Dan and Dave getting let go by HBO. And we're going to cover about 3 or 4 other things. We're putting some stuff on trial. So we're going to cover that. And that's going to be on Doomcock's channel in 2 hours, by the way. But let's wrap this up real quick. I do have to go soon, so we're going to wrap this up. But I'll be back on in 2 hours. So Bruce Lombardo, great supporter of the channel, good friend, sends me coffee. I mean, way to my heart, way to my black little heart is black coffee. Thank you for the 1999 happy birthday, Gary. Thank you so much. Nicholas Horton, thanks for reminding me of the episode. It's just another in the long line of really idiotic plot leaks that could be true. That could be true. Showing once again that the fans are more talented than anybody involved in Star Wars. And honestly, the only enjoyment I get out of Star Wars is watching fan films and watching anybody in the Fandom Menace. You name the channel. There's so many now. There's so many, and it's great. I think it's great. And there's what were they talking about? There's like second wave. I think I'm part of the second wave. I'm probably the second wave, third wave. I'm just glad. I'm proud that people consider me part of it. Yeah, because I was watching it for a long time, so it's really weird. A year ago at this time, I tweeted this. I went back and looked. I had 500,000 total channel views by total and 6,600 subscribers. I currently sit at 115,000 subs and 20 million views. So in 1 year, I got like 20, almost 20 million views. That's I can't get my head around that. I really can't get my head around that. I know Jeremy's probably got like a gazillion more than that. And, I haven't put out 1,000 videos yet. And out of those 1,000, 100 or so are not even listed. So those are from the early days. Those are bad. You can find them on my website. If you really want to hear them, they're on nerdrotic.com. Jordan for $2 New Zealand from Middle Earth. Happy birthday, dude. Have a fantastic day. I will, my friend. I like the avatar. That's cool. Bruce Lombardo, thank you. Nicholas Horton, thank you. Best time is now. I love that. Best time is now. Life is for playing. Selena Kyle. With probably the worst avatar I've ever seen in my life, but this is Captain Mary Sue SJW, a friend from Pahrump, Nevada, from the high desert, living with the ghost of Art Bell, one of my favorite people of all time. Oh, by the way, I might do a video for the other channel on why George Norrie sucks and why Art Bell was better. I found a couple of interviews where George Norrie asked the dumbest questions I've ever heard in my life. And you could just compare it to Art Bell. And I don't understand how George Norrie gets work. I don't. Wouldn't you rather hear Doomcock on Coast to Coast? I mean, I would take the job too, but John B. Wells was great and he got fired and he shouldn't have been. Hey, Gary, what goes up and now never goes down? Watch out next time you walk into an antique store. They might try to sell you. Oh, by the way, yes. My birthday is on Tuesday. Cheers. Well, happy birthday. So your birthday's on the 20th. No, 20th? Yes, 20th. Awesome. Happy birthday, Selena. I know that's not your name. Frank S. for 10 pounds. Happy birthday, Gary. You give hope to all people approaching 50. What is your earliest pop culture memory? Watching Batman, 66 Batman that's a good question. In my living room on Ducommon Street in Claremont. I think I was 4. Maybe. I mean, yeah, because I moved out of that house when I was 4. So that's my earliest memory was watching Batman on a TV where when you changed the channel, it made a noise. It went because like it was actually a rotary thing and there was a big antenna that we'd have to turn the dial and the antenna would move and it would take forever. And yeah, watching Batman. That is my earliest. That's the first memory of me watching television was watching Adam West Batman. So, I mean, I was, just like I was born an addict. I know I was born. You don't think about it till much later, but when I went trick or treating, it's a commonly used analogy, but it's true. When I went trick or treating, I ate all my candy in one night. That's an addict. I had just no self-control at all. Felt like shit. Didn't matter. And I must have been a nerd from day one, because like Batman and Superman, that was it. You know, the George Reeves Superman, Batman, watching those things at my Grammy's house. Oh yeah. Jason Green, $2. Happy birthday, Gary. You don't look 50. Well, thank you. Thank you. I feel 50. I felt 70 this morning, to be honest with you. Jaybird third for $20. Cheers and happy birthday. I agree about today's entertainment. The people in the industry are not in their right mind and will infect everything they touch with politics. I'll stick with old movies and TV until this woke fad passes. Thank you. That's kind of what we have to do at this point. John Pope for 10 pounds. Churchill once said, whatever the cost, maybe we will fight on the beaches, the land, the grounds, the fields, the streets, the hills. We shall never surrender. Happy birthday. That's what he said. That's what he said. Thank you, John Pope. Bear Nerd Friend for $2. Birthday video for Gary in 20 minutes. Happy birthday. Well, thank you. I will watch it. Oberon for 5 pounds. Happy birthday, dude. You look great. Quick question. JMS's Rising Stars, if made into an Amazon live action series made by the Nolans, good, bad, be great. It would be great. It would be utterly great. If it's Nolans, okay, both Nolans involved, I would watch the shit out of that. Cracklin, $1.99. Can we go back in time to stop the new Star Wars movies? Yes. Try it. Get on the technology. Matei for 5 pounds. Thank you for recommending The Expanse and The Orville, and thank you for the regular and quality content. I love from France. Well, back at you. Au revoir. Au revoir. I don't know French, but I'm glad I have somebody watching in France. That's awesome. Chris Baxter for $2. Hail, Gary. Happy birthday. It's my birthday. Bruce thank you for the $2. Bruce Lombardo for $1.99. Gary is the Dick Clark of the Geeks and Gamer crew. I'm the Dick. I'm certainly the Dick. That's for sure. I don't know about Dick Clark. By the way, I cannot wait to review Titans again, and I can resume my Dick jokes. That was the best part about reviewing Titans, was trying to get as many Dick jokes into one, because Dick is in Titans, into one 20-minute review. I think I made a record of 10 Dick jokes in a 20-minute review, but I'll try. I'll keep trying. Gary, point of personal privilege. I'm sorry, point of personal privilege. Point of personal privilege. JPRPH1999. Happy birthday, Gary. All the best for your next 50 years. My mom made it to 99. Oh, that's awesome. I just saw your Last Jedi review. You did as Beardless Gary. Nice. Yeah. Don't look at that. That's bad. Trooper Bear, thank you for the $9.99. Trooper Bear FN 2525 for $5. I don't put it past Disney to appropriate the Horcrux. HBD Grandmaster Gary. Ravenclaw's rule. Gryffindor's drool. Ravenclaw is in the house here. Yes, I would be a Ravenclaw, by the way. I would. I would. Yes. So the fandom is a different thing, but I did enjoy the Harry Potter books. Okay. Very good audiobooks by Jim Dale. Listen to them with my kids. When I was driving back and forth from LA to San Francisco every fracking weekend for 2 years, every weekend, I only missed one. I would work all week, live in this little house in Burbank. And then on Friday night, I'd work, get in my car, drive to San Francisco, spend a day and a half with my family, drive back to work on Monday. Did it for 2 years while owning a comic store too. I almost died. It damn near did me. And actually that burnout led to a lot of other bad things happening and then me selling the store. Larry for $25. Happy birthday, young Gary. Stay being you. Keep watching the skies. Oh, I will. Rowan Mangian for Australian $2.99. Happy birthday, Gary. Have a great dinner. Enjoy. Yes. I actually need to really get going, but we've got 2 more super chats, so we're good. V for $1.99. You need a colonoscopy at age 50. I know, dude. I don't want to talk about that on the live stream, but that is on my things to do. Thing is, I've already kind of had one when I was much younger. because there was a problem. I'm fine, by the way, I'm fine. But they thought something very bad was happening. I just remember being wasted. Like they put you on something and you are freaking wasted. And I was so wasted that when I was done, I was still in my gown, and the first person, God, I can never bring this up with Mrs. I know Mrs. Nerdrotic's listening, but I was married to a person before Mrs. Nerdrotic. I can't remember her name. She means nothing to me. But she was there and I wanted to drive home. I was so wasted. I'm in my butt's hanging out and everything. I'm like, give me the keys. I'm going to drive home. And I don't know what the hell they give you. It's like Demerol or something like that. Something freaking gnarly. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I'm not looking forward to taking that stuff. I just, Penn Farm Girl for $5. Hail Gary, hail Nerdrotic, hail Exozone, and hail the Inquisition. Happy birthday. Thank you for giving us all the gift of the great content. Penn Farm Girl has been with me since what, Penn? 300 subs? A couple hundred subs since Preacher and the Tick. I remember talking to you and when you were like one of two people in our chat and you had a hurricane and your power was going out in Florida. We love Penn Farm Girl. Penn Farm Girl rules in every single way. She gave me, where did it go? Oh, I had to move it. But she gave me this cute little cheese curd things. I still have it. It was sitting on my desk forever, but I moved it. But I'll put it back, Penn. Oh, and I promised not to sue that company. By the way, I came up with my logo before them. So there's a company that uses my logo. I don't care. I don't care, but we're fixing that. We're fixing that. Because I came up with the logo first, but I'm not gonna do anything about it. Because it's a logo of glasses. I mean, you can actually, anybody can do it. And that kind of, we could end right there where it started. When you create a logo based on a licensed property that you can't trademark yourself, you can't say you own it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'll say right there. You can't say you own something that doesn't belong to you. I can't put Batman on my logo and say I designed it and I created it. I can't, because I didn't make up Batman. I didn't make up glasses. The nerd symbol of glasses. 1 million people have done that. So it's going to be very hard for me to fully trademark it, which I have no intention to do. I'm going to try. There's certain copyrights I'm safe on already, but it's glasses with tape on it. It's pretty generalized thing. So we're going to end it right there. I'll be back in a couple hours. I need to haul ass and go have some dinner. I need to hurry and go have some fun. I'm going to Celia's in Daly City to have the Monday special, which is my favorite. It's like these beef tacos that are really good. So thank you for all the super chats. Larry, by the way, happy birthday, young man. Stay being you. Oh, I read that one. Thank you. If I missed any super chats, I will read. I'm going live tomorrow. All right. We're going to, we'll do a makeup. No, Wednesday. I'm sorry. Wednesday. No, tomorrow. I know what day it is. We're going to do a Nerdrotic Nooner tomorrow. So I'll make up for it. In the meantime, I'm going to try to get a couple videos out. My next video will be on Geeks and Gamers. Yes, it'll be on Geeks and Gamers when that gets finished. And it's about Star Trek. It's about Star Trek. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, everybody. Please join us in a couple hours for the Inquisition. It's going to be spicy tonight, extra spicy, just like my tacos. So until then, have a great day. Go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. Not all who wander are lost, and may the free folks sing songs of your greatness.